Hello, everyone, and we are live. Welcome to the live stream of the Empowerment Club. Elvira Burns here, your coach, DJ, the founder of the Empowerment Club, the online coaching platform where we become our best versions. The objective of our live streams is to bring free coaching to the online audience and encourage them to join Empowerment Club online program to lead a more successful, happier, and healthier life. And while we're at it, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell not to miss our next videos. We appreciate your support and helping us bring free mind coaching to as many people as possible. Our live stream today is dedicated to sports performance breakthroughs. So welcome to the Empowerment Club. It is a movement to master stress and confidence, to a path to feeling great. You work hard to manifest your dreams, but your stress holds you back. Now free yourself in the Empowerment Club. It is a unique in the world program. It's cutting edge. It's available 24/7 with your coach, which is me, vested in your improvement. Nobody else has a program like this, and I'm really excited to see you there. For the new guys, we are going through just the introduction so you can understand who we are and what we are all about. So in the online paid program, you have 52 weeks of weekly video lessons, daily audio meditation, daily work on your goals, coaching support and community by me and the online community. Our holistic solution, training the mind and body in stress awareness methods, understanding physiology of stress, understanding goals process, use the awareness techniques to optimize daily life and action taking, spend dedicated 12 months on a sustainable transformation, let go of past stress and become resilient to the new stress, take as many action steps towards our dreams as we can. Mind is our main objective of focus because confidence, mental strength, flexibility, happiness and success, sports and business performance all depend on our mind. We train the mind to become more aware, more open, more spacious, to control stress, to solve problems better, to improve creativity, boost your health and happiness, have better memory and enhance studies. Our life is an ocean of stress. Our body is built on stress response. Whatever our mind thinks, good or bad, has an effect on the brain. The brain generates brain waves of various speeds to support various mental activities. We can consciously, with our mind, regulate how we respond to stress. Our mind controls itself, and it also controls stress regulation through awareness. So welcome to your club. Welcome to the online social part of it. You are here to learn to understand things about yourself, and I welcome you. Let me just check on the presentation. Somehow it got itself rewound. What happens sometimes with online systems, you upload, you prepare everything, and then you're faced with the fact that it may not be the right presentation. So just bear with me so I can make sure that I'm loading the right stuff. This is life, isn't it? Life is so when we expect something to go smoothly, and unfortunately, it does not. Okay, and we do have the previous presentation, so you have to please bear with me, and I'm going to have to upload the one that we should be going through today, which is sports performance. Okay, and we're in business, thank goodness. We are dependent on technology, just to remind you. So there's absolutely no need to be stressed. We're here in the Empowerment Club. We can take our time. You can pause the button. You can fast forward later on if you feel that you don't have time right now. It's all here for you to come back to. So if you have things to do, don't worry, you can come back to it. In the meantime, I will continue with the teachings and hope you enjoy it. So, sports performance breakthroughs, the path to feeling great. Our club is all about feeling great because that's actually the state of mind that we aspire for success. Life is stress, stress is life. This is our main motto because that's our basis for working with our mind and body. So, a little bit about myself, your coach. I am coming from the background of English linguistics, network and desktop IT engineer, acupuncture and Qigong, mind coach, personal meditation practice and philosophy studies, and research into mental and physical pain or stress. And you can find our platforms in two places. One for the global side, which is empowermentclub.online, and one specifically for the India market, which is empowermentclub.in. I look forward to welcoming you on both platforms. And yes, it is your club, and we want to offer you a discount to join. So all the links will be in the video below. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Our objectives for today, as usual, threefold: the coaching side, performance breakthroughs, meditation to release stress, and questions and answers if you have any. And you can always post them later as well. It doesn't mean that you have to post them now. I will come back to your questions later on and I will answer them in another video. So thank you. Empowerment is when you feel great. So don't forget, we're here, we've gathered here to be empowered, not the opposite. So we are searching, we're learning, we're practicing towards being powerful. And what we really can control is the mind power. That's where our main power resides. So let's revise some of our past important concepts because we are building on the previous lessons, which you can find on the channel in the playlist called Free Lessons. And I encourage you to watch them so that you can understand the train of thought, the stuff that we're building upon, and it's much easier for you to step into all of this. Stress makes us feel bad, disempowered. That's obvious, isn't it? So, two important reactions of stress response, which I always emphasize: it makes the breathing shallow and it tightens the muscles. This is always important to remember because both lead to oxygen and nutrient problems as they're meant only for short-term response only. And what do? We turn on stress response all the time, continuously, and we keep ourselves tense and deprived of oxygen. Power of mind relaxes muscles, improves breathing, and turns off excessive stress response. You come back to yourself in a better state of mind and body. Thoughts and emotions can stress us out because they directly activate our brain's stress response system, even when there's no actual danger in front of us. That means it's enough to think about something to activate the whole stress response. Your mind doesn't wait for life to stress you out. It can generate its own stress just by how you think about life. So you don't really need anything externally. You just have to have your own thoughts and emotions. Awareness training is to control stress response. What is awareness? It's the function of the mind that does the knowing and noticing. So right now you hear my voice, you see the presentation slides on the screen, you might be aware of tastes and in your mouth, and you might be aware of sensations on your skin and the thoughts in your mind. So that function, that agent, that part of your mind, that part of you that is aware, that is awareness, the part of you that knows and notices. Our mind can turn off stress by activating the body's rest and repair system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and calming the brain alarm centers, fight and flight sympathetic nervous system. So these functions are inbuilt in our nervous system, and we must learn to use them so that we optimize our life, work, and become happier, healthier, and more successful. Your success, happiness, and health fully depend on how well you can control your stress response. So, once again, you work hard to manifest your dreams, but your stress holds you back. Now, free yourself in the Empowerment Club. So, thank you for being here. You are already freeing yourself by learning how your mind and body functions. So, you're already here, part of the online social. Thank you. Good health is the result of continuous daily management of stress and other factors. And we do want to have good health, don't we? I'm sure we do. So on the channel, you will see the playlist called Free Lessons. And it contains various topics for you to take a look later. Now we move on to our main subject, which is sports performance breakthroughs. So apart from just me being very prepared and knowing my subject, I'd like us to have in mind that we're having a conversation and having fun, because learning is about having fun. When do we learn the best? When we're actually having fun and we're relaxed. When we're under pressure, body tightens, our oxygen becomes insufficient, and the entire chain of stress response has been activated, and we don't actually learn very well. So when learning is fun, it's relaxed, it's colorful, that's when we learn best. And this is what I'm aiming for, to entertain you while giving you a really, really important information. I am not a journalist, influencer, or a motivational speaker per se. I'm a mind coach, a TCM practitioner of acupuncture, and an educator, teacher, and I'm here to actually help you understand things. Of course, I would love to entertain you, because that way you will remember better. My special interest as a coach is confidence, letting go of PTSD and other fears, stress, limiting beliefs, meaning clearing them out, goal achievement, and performance. So as you can see, performance is part of the goal achievement. Why would we be talking about performance? That means goal achievement. So every goal achievement has some kind of performance attached to it. Like, for example, right now, I am performing for you. I am on the spot, I am in the limelight, and I want to do well. And more so, I want to present information in a way that you will understand, you will like, you will resonate with, and actually you will learn. So the goal of my performance today is teach you something important, something you can use, and give you the understanding of how things work so you could apply them in your life. By being clear in my goals, I'm also releasing my stress in improving my performance. So if I know I'm here for you, and the most important thing for me is you, so that means I've taken attention off myself and put my attention onto you, on your benefit. And that's where the good stuff happens. Life is stress, stress is life. So life is stress. We are continuously put under various tests by doing all kinds of things in life. And also, life is unpredictable. So we never know where things come from. So the better we are trained in our awareness techniques, the better we are prepared to face it. And stress is life. Without having tension in the body physically, we are not alive. When the body is dead, there is absolutely no tension in it left. So when you feel tension, you can always think, thank goodness I'm alive. That's the sign of life. So we have to work with our attention and master it. Performance is stress, as we've understood already. Every time we are put on the spot, others are watching us, evaluating us. That's what's going to happen. Stress is going to happen. So the better we handle stress, the better will be our performance. That's guaranteed. That's 100%. There's absolutely no need to doubt this point. And it's good to actually know that stress is the key to performance, stress management. We're coming back to the yin and yang diagram, the unity of the opposites, the dynamic balance of the opposites, and the oneness of the opposites. So they're not separate concepts. Mental health and physical health are indivisible. So we cannot really divide mind and body. They're working together. They are stuck together for now. So we have the physiology, the body, and we have the mental factors, the mind. And that's important to differentiate these two for the sake of being able to work with them and for the sake of having a conversation and understanding about them. We must optimize and maximize our health and our life potential daily, and we've seen that in the presentation in the lesson on health, which is the previous lesson. You can always go back and watch that one. We need to take responsibility for our body, mind, and energy. They are the most powerful healers, and no one else can do it for us. We are the owners of our body and mind, and we have agency to be responsible for ourselves. Still, the biggest point is how well we handle stress, and even how well we can recover from it. Unmanaged stress reshapes the body deeply over time, almost like it recarves the system inside out. So, obviously, if you've been stuck in stress or reached burnout, your body is going to not work optimally and not work in the best possible way as it got used to working under stress. And you are basically surviving in the emergency mode now because the body has wired itself up. The brain starts to wire up all kinds of connections for you to continue to function in the emergency mode. So what do we have to do if we wired ourselves up? We have to unwire ourselves. So that's actually the aim of the 52 weeks program. So over the course of 1 year, you can undo the damage. You can understand yourself better. You can work with your awareness, train it, let go of the past, become more resilient towards the future, and take actions boldly without fear. This is a very, very powerful way to work with yourself. Our primary focus here is how mind impacts performance. Why are we talking about this? It's because we have specific sports skills versus mental game skills. And what you typically hear with sports people when their mental game is lacking, they tell them, oh, you need to practice more. But the two are very different things. Just by being good at throwing the ball when you're by yourself, you can maybe throw it well the whole day. But as soon as you have a crowd watching you, that changes everything. So your attention shifts into the mental game skills. That means you need to train mental game. And that's why in this online program, as well as in the social extension of it on YouTube, we are talking and learning about the mental game skills, because that's what's going to help you be the champion in anything you want, whether it's life or sports, whether you need to present to somebody or ask for a pay rise. This is when the mental game skills actually matter. And in the age of AI, where everything becomes computerized and digitalized, and you can already see the ads are coming out without any humans, no human voice, no human faces, you become even more precious. Your mental game becomes even more important because you cannot compete with the computers on knowledge, but you can compete with them on your ability to decide what is right, what is wrong, what is appropriate or not, train yourself to become confident and resilient and therefore smart and successful. That's going to be the key area of progress in the AI age. Stress management is really a form of wealth management because it protects the body, brain, and spirit, your true capital. So, even me, I am here, your wealth manager. At the same time, I'm enabling you, empowering you to become your own wealth manager, which is even better. Health is wealth, a state of abundance, having enough of what truly matters: energy, resilience, relationships, peace of mind, a foundation of resources, not only financial, but also physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional balance. A capacity to thrive, the ability to pursue goals, experience joy, and contribute to others. A richness of life, not just in material things, but in freedom of opportunities, love, and fulfillment. And all of this is still linked to performance. That's why performance is such an important task, an important area to discuss. Sports skills are separate to mental flexibility, confidence, resilience, and toughness. So let's put them down because they depend on each sport, although they have some commonality. And we are having a delay on the network, I think. Limiting beliefs can be conscious from something that happened to you and you remember, and unconscious. You don't know where it comes from and why you have it. It just is. So we've gone over a little bit in the past over the limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs derail performance. Why we need to again discuss them, because you will come out on the field or in a Formula One car, and all your limiting beliefs are going to get loaded into your random access memory. You're going to remember everything that brings you down, and your performance will go down. So, to prevent that from happening, we need to clear and let go of emotional charge of past events or unconscious stuff in order to stop having limiting beliefs, to unblock our confidence. Obviously, it cannot be done by talking. It has to be done through meditative awareness training exercises where you are accessing deeper levels of yourself, of your consciousness at slower brain waves. That is what we do in the paid program. And that's why we have ample 52 weeks to work with ourselves, uncover, discover our stuff, and let it go. But that is the key. If you let go of all of this, you're gonna have clean, clear state of mind. So if you come out, you just do. That's what we want to do, actually. Performance is that. You come out and you're not being scared, you're not being burdened by anything. Letting go of trying to control every detail is the root of flexibility. Flexibility means embracing constant movement internally and externally. And we discussed this in the lesson, and we gave the analogy of a palm tree, hence my background of a palm tree, because that's to do with mental flexibility. You become angry, you get yourself back into joy. So you use joy to spring back. As the wind of anger is blowing, you go with it, but then you spring back with joy. So understanding that we can't control too much actually in our life, but we can control our own mind, our emotional response, is that what gives us flexibility. And knowing that everything is impermanent, things don't last, gives us the confidence to do this. So we need to learn to flow like a river around obstacles and to move like a palm tree in the wind. So actually, when people talk about being in the moment, that in fact what it really means: to flow like a river around obstacles and to move like a palm tree in the wind. And what happens with many athletes? They program themselves a week before, 2 weeks before, maybe 6 months before, and think that's how it's going to be on the day. And then they get disappointed because conditions change. Rain comes, wind comes, things come from the stuff they didn't expect. So yes, expect certain things, but be in the moment on the day of your performance. Flow like a river around obstacles and move like a palm tree in the wind. Let's go over mental flexibility just a little bit because that's what everybody aspires for, craves, needs, demands, and talks about. It is the ability to adapt your thinking, emotions, and responses when circumstances change. Instead of clinging to one rigid way of seeing or doing things, you can shift perspectives, adjust strategies, and keep moving. Think of it like yoga for the mind. The more flexible you are, the less likely you'll snap under pressure. And we have discussed this in the past lessons that you need to familiarize yourself to look for changes. Don't look for stability, what doesn't change. Keep looking for changes in nature, in people, in your own face, and in everybody around you. Keep looking for changes, familiarize with changes. Then you will know, you will get used to it. You'll get the habit of watching out for changes because that's really maximizing your potential. You have to find that little gap where you can slot yourself in and win because that's what performance is all about. But we will be discussing this a little bit more. This is a very exciting topic. Why it matters. Stress relief. Rigid thinking fuels stress. I must go this way or else. Flexibility opens more options, lowering pressure. Problem solving. You can see challenges from multiple angles and find creative solutions. Emotional balance. Instead of being trapped in one mood, you can shift state and recover faster from setbacks. Relationships. Flexibility lets you adjust to different people and situations without losing yourself. Performance and growth. Athletes, leaders, and innovators all rely on mental flexibility to pivot when things don't go as planned. So most of the time, I think things don't go as planned. And that's the importance of understanding what it means to be in the moment, which means you turn up on the day and you go with the flow. You have to be prepared to flow. And for that, you need to train. It just doesn't happen by itself. So awareness training, notice when your mind is stuck in one pattern through loop, assumption, must, should language, and use the techniques from our online program to let that go. Reframing, ask, what else could this mean? Or what another way is of looking at that? These are the questions that are open the mind and let you release some emotional charge so you can see past the narrowness of the current situation. Stress regulation, breathing, mindfulness, or physical movement keep the brain agile instead of locked in survival mode. So they assist you to calm down and see more and see a solution. Practice opposites. If you usually plan every detail, try improvising. If you're spontaneous, try structure. This strengthens adaptability. So again, we're going back to don't be stuck in a certain way. Watch, get used to change, flow with the change, bend like a palm tree, and that's what mental flexibility is. Micro challenges, small experiments, trying a new routine, changing routine, learning a new skill, build flexibility muscle. And that involves both mind and body, of course. So success depends on mental flexibility. Flow around obstacles, let the wind carry you, work with your nervous system, not against it. So big part of this is education. So you know what your nervous system does and doesn't do, what your brain does and doesn't do. I personally use my awareness all the time to find any and all limiting beliefs and lack of flexibility to make sure I let go of them so I'm not stopped by my own mind, because that's what's going to stop you the most. Let's define sports performance. Sports performance is the measurable execution of physical, mental, technical, and tactical abilities in a sporting context, aimed at achieving specific outcomes such as winning, improving personal bests, or demonstrating skill under competition or practice conditions. So that's a general definition. Usually assessed by. So performance is always something that gets assessed. That's why it is performance. Physical capacity, strength, speed, endurance, agility, flexibility. You get measured by others. Technical skill, the ability to perform sport-specific movements with precision. Tactical understanding, decision making strategy, and situational awareness. Psychological factors, confidence, focus, motivation, stress management, resilience. So everyone actually is looking at the athletes and constantly measuring how confident they are, how focused they are, how motivated they are, how well are they able to manage stress and resilience. This is such a huge topic of the online discussions. And if someone can't do this, boy, do they get a ton lashing. Recovery and lifestyle, nutrition, rest, injury prevention, mental health. So, mental health is actually in the psychological factors. But anyway, we will go with the official version. Why is sports performance important? It's good to go over these concepts so we are kind of clear on what we are doing. Achievement of goals. So you see, once again, we can't get away from achievement of goals. Achieving goals is the very essence of this life. It allows athletes to measure progress, reach peak potential, and fulfill personal or team ambitions. Health and fitness. High level performance reflects good physical conditioning and can promote lifelong wellness. Well, that could be disputed, but we won't do this now. Mental strength, training and competing builds resilience, discipline, and the ability to perform under pressure. Well, yes, and again, we can dispute half of it. Entertainment and inspiration. For professionals, performance creates value for spectators, communities, and the sport itself. Yes, that definitely the money of the sport and the entertainment really depend on how well the sports people perform. Personal growth. Even outside elite levels, improving performance teaches us to have better focus and mastery of self. Well, on a big level, yes, it can do that, but mind is still supreme and no sport can help us improve it. Only mind training itself can. Sports performance matters because it reflects the harmony of body, mind, and skill working together toward excellence. You see, these are all official definitions that people try to measure up to. These definitions were created by somebody, and we don't even know by who, but that's really a big point of stress, the harmony of body and skill working together towards excellence. Is it even true? Maybe. But can you feel how you get lost when you read all this stuff? And to tell you the truth, even the psychologists, which I don't really hold as authorities on much, tell that they cannot define mental toughness in sports, and they can't really solve, too many mind issues for the athletes. It's obvious. If you look at sports, when people can find a way, the athletes themselves can find a way to solve this, that's when the problem gets solved. But no amount of doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, unless they possess the techniques, the keys to the mind, can help do any of that. And we will see that. Golf, cricket, F1, Formula One have the same things that plague athletes. Athletes are really plagued because it's their job. It's not a game anymore, it's a job. Shit, it's crashed. That is. Are we crashed or are we not crashed? Maybe we're not crashed, but what happens? Yes, pressure and stress. Pressure in sports, especially during tournaments, is a mix of psychological, emotional, and physical factors. This is what just happened. I clicked on the screen to go to the next slide, and the whole thing disappeared. So, because I do train my own mind, I made an exclamation, but at the same time, I immediately calmed down and came back to it. So I found the window. It helps. It definitely helps. You are the witnesses today. So, pressure in sports, especially during tournaments, is a mix of psychological, emotional, and physical factors. Many athletes, even experienced ones, struggle to handle it, and tournaments often amplify this due to personal stakes, peer pressure, and expectations, and many other factors. All sports are mentally demanding. When it is a team sport, then the pressure is of personal performance combined with a team performance. When it is a solo game, all responsibility is on one person. So here I try to combine different sports into one and just to generalize. But of course, different sports have their own slightly different angles. Pressure is always personal to every person involved, and it must be taken care of on the personal level. Success of a team is a combination of personal successes of every team member. So awareness needs to be trained and stress needs to be released by every team member or by the individual in an individual sport. Why pressure becomes overwhelming? High expectations. Athletes set unrealistic performance goals. Sometimes fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, of letting us oneself down, and others increased heart rate and tension. Under stress, breathing becomes shallow, hands shake, and muscles tighten, affecting the swing. So, our entire focus of the free lessons on the social side and the paid program is how can we manage this? How can we maximize our performance? Not just in sport, but in daily life at work, because the same thing will happen no matter what you do. You get stress, your breathing becomes shallow, your hands shake, your muscles tighten, and it doesn't matter whether you are playing cricket or you are driving a Formula One car or you are about to go into a meeting with your boss in the office. The same thing happens. Performance goes down. You're not your best version. You start to overthink. You have stress and worry. You're fearful, and things are not going to go as well as you would like to. So, what to do with that is the objective of the program, is objective of this training. Overthinking. Athletes start overanalyzing their mechanics and other details, leading to paralysis by analysis. Because if you start to get tight, your brain starts to generate faster brain waves, so it encourages more thoughts to come. Tournaments have extra pressure since players know each other. There's added peer pressure, comparison, ego, and social anxieties. It's especially, known in golf tournaments because the people come out and they play in the club tournaments with their friends and they really want to win. Everybody wants to win. Everyone there wants to win and is worried how they can win. Why tournaments are especially hard, playing against friends and peers adds pressure to prove oneself. But as I'm reading this out, as we are contemplating this applies to everything. Adds pressure to prove oneself. When do we not want to prove ourselves to anybody, to our parents, to our friends, to our colleagues, to our friends and enemies? Reputation and ego. Many athletes want to maintain a certain status in their team. Inconsistent mental preparation. Pros practice pressure situations while others hope for the best. Crowds, intimate scrutiny in crowds, and playing in front of a few friends or members can feel even worse. Pace of play stress. Players worry about slowing down the group behind them, which increases tension. So that's applicable to golf because you have to keep moving. And if you're slower, then you are under pressure and people think they're inadequate and not good enough, and the chain reaction starts. How pressure affects performance. It's called choking in golf. Choking is a breakdown in performance due to stress. So golf is actually really precise about it, maybe more precise than any other sport. Tense grip and stiff swing leads to poor ball striking, but that's applicable to cricket and any other ball game. Shorter, rushed backswing causes slices, hooks, and misshifts. So obviously that comes from tension, and it's applicable to every sport that has similar functions. Overly cautious putting, or overly cautious playing, or overly cautious driving, or doing anything else because you're very tense. Players leave putts short due to a fear of missing. So overthinking simple shots, turning an easy 3-foot putt into a nightmare. So you would have seen, players standing there not far from the hole and still unable to reach the hole and getting increasingly more and more frustrated. And every sport has got their own little places like that where people could get stuck. Many amateurs perform worse under the pressure because they aren't used to competing regularly, while pros train under pressure deliberately, simulating final round scenarios in practice. And the more they train, actually, Max Verstappen is famous for that because that's what his father put him through. Deliberate pressure, simulating the worst possible situations, really torturing his poor son. But it ended up training him to do what he does now. The key areas of mental side for a cricketer are, so we are moving on to cricket a little bit more. Focus, confidence, winner's mindset, belief in oneself, development of calm mind, stillness of the body, great teamwork. So these are all key points of how one can play a successful cricket game and be a winner. But this applies to everything else in life. I just want you to just take it in. That's really, really the recipe for success here on the screen in front of you right now. Focus, confidence, winner's mindset, belief in oneself, development of calm mind, stillness of the body, great teamwork. So all of these, if you can improve the mental game in all of these areas, that is going to lead to the sports breakthroughs. So there comes the topic of our today's conversation. Sports breakthroughs come from this. And this, being good at this, comes from training the mind. It's not going to happen by itself. Let's define confidence for cricket game, but applicable to others, applicable to other sports and overall. The key areas of mental side for a cricketer are the player's mind is quiet and not analyzing the past and fretting about the future. The player is only concerned with what is happening here and now and able to keep refocusing on the here and now throughout the game. The player doesn't feel inferior to anybody as a human, as a nationality, doesn't identify with any painful background and past struggles, not affected by the crowd, not affected by the presence of other players, by a feeling fearful or inferior to them, or by thinking one cannot bat as hard or bowl as fast as someone else. So as I'm reading all these things, what comes to mind is the Australian cricket team. You could say they were bred that way in the society by not overthinking. They're not the type of people that overthink. They're very practical, just naturally confident people because they don't think too much. I'm actually taking this against them, that they don't think too much. Their mind is quite simple. Their mentality is quite simple. They don't think in a complicated way. The player's hands are not shaking excessively or their body being excessively rigid. There's enough arousal to do what one needs to do. Arousal meaning the stress response is just right, at the right level. There's motivation to do well and the ability to move on calmly if your action wasn't as perfect as you would have loved it to be. There are no active emotions and hostilities to the coaches and team players and others involved. I know it all sounds very much, to be desired and not sure can we achieve them. Well, yes, we can. We have Novak Djokovic, we have the Australian cricket team, we have all sorts of examples where people either have trained themselves to be that way or grew up in the environment which is conducive to this, to being that way. So Australian society is probably the best society in the world because you do not feel inferior no matter what you have or you don't have based on education, not based on education. The equality